Hello, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I have many voices, but one opinion. Sadly, my cat took off. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I got something to say. Um, I heard the biggest news of all. You know, me being a huge die-hard DC fan, I'm hearing that one of my all-time favorite director, James Gunn, who made my favorite science fiction superhero team, Guardians of the Galaxy, is now going to be doing the DC Universe. So this time it's going to be him working on the DC superheroes. And you know, I've been noticing a lot of setbacks and a lot of problems going on lately. Like for instance, I heard that Henry Cavill he quit on The Witcher and so he can get back as Superman. And then when I heard about a Man of Steel sequel was canceled, they had to let Henry Cavill go, and also they have to let go Ben Affleck. Although makes a lot of sense because I've heard that they were planning to do a solo Batman series and have Ben Affleck playing Batman, but Ben Affleck wanted to direct it and they said no. It's a good reason because, when you have the star play the hero, it's best to keep him as the star and not the director. And, um, and of course, I also heard they're going to let go of Gal Gadot, my favorite Wonder Woman. Gee, it's bad enough that I heard that the Arrowverse is being canceled so they can make room for the DC superheroes cinematic universe. And I really do enjoy the Arrowverse series. Hell, I enjoyed seeing the DCEU version of The Flash meeting the Arrowverse version of The Flash. And I was so hoping to see Gal Gadot Wonder Woman meets Melissa Benoist Supergirl. Although that was, it's Photoshop, so they didn't do it, and I wish they did. But now I hear there's a lot of projects going on recently that it's kind of surprising. I hear that they're going to do the Flash movie, and this time they're going to have my favorite, my number one childhood icon of the actor who played Batman, Michael Keaton, coming back as Superman in this movie. And look at the costume they made. I mean, talk about a flash from the past. And of course, they're going to have their version of Supergirl. You know, I love Melissa Benoist's Supergirl, and I'm just not ready for somebody else playing Supergirl. But, but I guess that's how the way it is. And of course, another thing I have heard that they did an animated movie of Legion of Superheroes. And I heard a lot of things about it, that it's pretty good, and I kind of spoiled myself on the ending. So it's kind of hinting that Brainiac 5 is going to have a relationship with Supergirl. So that means they're going to have their Supergirl and Brainiac's daughter. That happened in the comics. Look up Kingdom Come. And of course, I also heard that they are going to have Blue Beetle involved. Interesting that they're going to be doing the Blue Beetle. And of course, there's also the new Shazam movie, and I don't know if that Black Adam did pretty good, but I'm hoping for the best. So, after all that announcement, I'm going to be talking. Oh yeah, and they're also going to be doing another Aquaman movie. So there's going to be an Aquaman 2. And to tell you the truth, when I heard about that they're going to do like a Flashpoint Paradox movie, I'm just not ready. And I would love to have the Justice League, the Schneider cut version of Justice League on Blu-ray. And I also wish that it should be canon in the cinematic universe, but it's not. I mean, you can say whatever it is you want to say about Zack Snyder, but I think he did a really damn good job. It's just his story was way too long. Just like The Simpsons. But enough of them. Let's talk about the ones that I've heard that James Gunn's going to be doing. Now, me being a die-hard fan of the DC universe and the DC superheroes, and also I know all about the DC characters. Compared to some people who didn't even know about them, well, I know all about them. Because I used to have a book called DC Comic Books Encyclopedia. It gave me all the information I needed to know about all the DC superhero characters before I discovered Comic Vine. One thing I have heard, they're going to be working on an animated series of my favorite group of DC superheroes, who are a group of monsters, is, of course, the Creature Commandos. Now, for those of you who don't know about my Creature Commando, I know I've already did a video where I did talk about the Creature Commandos years ago. So, I'm just going to make this brief. Who are the Creature Commandos? The Creature Commandos are actually a group of monsters who are soldiers, and they were battling against the Germans during World War II. And I read about them in the encyclopedia, and I always kept dreaming and hoping that they would make a movie, a live action. Well, I was thinking about a live action, but I guess anime would be alright. But I think the world deserves to know about the Creature Commandos. I mean, you have a Frankenstein monster, you have a werewolf, you have a vampire, and a Medusa. Except this Medusa, she doesn't have the eyes where you look at them, she turn you into stone. But she still has those snake hairs. And sometimes they even have a robot called GI Robot who helps them now and then. But I do have a big question on the Creature Commandos. I mean, are they going to be putting in the Creature Commandos from the during the excuse my cat. Hey Ben. Hey Benny boy. Give me a sec, he wants to come out. Let's get out. Out you go, buddy. Cats have a mind of their own, right? But anyway, one thing I'm kind of curious about, are they going to be basing it more from the New 52 or Rebirth, or the original Creature Commando from the original comics? Because one thing I'm curious about, if they're going to have the Frankenstein monster character, is it going to be Adam Frankenstein or Patchwork Man Adams? I mean, not Adams. Patchwork Man Taylor. Because the difference between Adam Frankenstein and Patchwork Taylor, he is a Frankenstein monster, but with a kind heart, and he's also a mute. He cannot talk, but he's a gentle giant. While Adam Frankenstein, he's the Frankenstein monster that Dr. Frankenstein created. And after he haunted and Frankenstein died, he took his name by calling himself Adam Frankenstein. Except he can control electricity, carries a sword where it's rumored that it came from Michael the Archangel, and he also have a steampunk looking gun. It looks like a miniature train, but with a trigger under it. And I also noticed that they're going to have a vampire in it, but which one? Is it going to be Andrew Bennett, aka I Vampire, my personal favorite DC vampire hero? Or is it going to be their original vampire team member, Sergeant Vincent Velcro? One thing I know about Sergeant Vincent Velcro is the same reason as Patchwork Tyler. Sergeant Vincent Velcro, he's just a soldier who became a vampire. And that's it. But he still fights. I mean, he's kind of like what if... he's kind of like what if Captain America became a vampire and started acting like Dracula. But in a good way. A patriotic Dracula. Who fights for America and not go along with the Germans. Sorry. While Andrew Bennett, I mentioned Andrew Bennett so many times, but I'll make it brief. Andrew Bennett was a vampire during Queen Elizabeth time. And I mean Queen Elizabeth I, not the second one. And he fell in love with a maid named Mary Seward. And he thought turning her into a vampire, they both are going to love each other for eternity. And I guess love is not always forever. Because when he turned her into a vampire, she became a monster. And started killing people for blood. And wanted the world to be ruled by vampires. While Andrew Bennett wants to stop her. So Andrew Bennett forms a group of vampire hunters. But that's his story. So I don't know if they're going to use Andrew Bennett or Vincent Velcro on Creature Commando. The same way I don't know if they're going to use Adam Frankenstein or Patchwork Tyler. Now another thing I've heard, they're also doing a TV series of Waller, aka Amanda Waller. To be honest, guys, I hate Amanda Waller. She's a woman who works with the government and doesn't trust superheroes. Because what she believes in, if the superheroes are so powerful, they can take over the world. Now, of course, there are some Elseworld stories that did prove that fact, but these superheroes, the Justice League, they don't want nothing to the world except protected against crime and punish against crime and corruption. But Amanda Waller, she works with the government. That's why she forms the group called the Suicide Squad, which you have seen two of the movies. The second one turned out to be a whole lot better because James Gunn's direction. And of course, its spin-off, Peacemaker. And now they're going to do a series where it's focusing more on Amanda Waller. And to be honest, I hate that bitch. Because she's in league with the government, and I don't trust anybody who is involved with the government. Now, even though that James Gunn had to let go of Henry Cavill, he's going to be doing a new Superman movie called Superman Legacy. On this one, it's going to be young Superman trying to experience his life and his powers and abilities, and even trying to discover his background. Do they have something similar to that? I don't know. I remember there was a show about a teenage Clark Kent being raised by his Kent family and start discovering his powers and trying to know what planet he's from. Nah, I'm sure the word's going to pop up to me anyway. And now I also heard that they're going to be doing the Green Lanterns. Now, one thing I heard about this one, it's going to be a space cop. After all, that the Green Lantern are supposed to be intergalactic police officers who's trying to keep justice and peace in the galaxy. And the only Green Lantern characters we're going to be seeing in this is going to be Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Now, I would say it would be more like an intergalactic version of Lethal Weapon. I mean, I would imagine John Stewart saying, "I'm getting too over this crap." Well, I guess I'm hoping that it will be so much better. I mean, we already had an animated series of the Green Lantern series, the animated one. But if you ask me, I wish they have Adam Strange and Captain Comet make a cameo in it. Because those are the two space heroes that not many people don't even know of. Yeah, sure, I know that they did Adam Strange from Krypton. And Captain Comet from Namori. You know, I think they should have, I mean, to my opinion, I even wish that they should have done, I mean, they should have two of the other modern Green Lantern members in it, either as a cameo or side characters who helps them, like Simon Bass and Jessica Cruz. Simon Bass is the, and for those of you who don't know about them, Simon Bass is the first Muslim Green Lantern. And Jessica Cruz is his partner, and she's a female Hispanic. Would have been a lot more interesting if it was Simon Bass and Jessica Cruz, a Muslim and a Hispanic. Possibility. And now here's something I couldn't believe that they're going to do. They're going to be doing the Authorities. Now, for those of you who don't know who the Authorities are, I did mention them in my my Superman different version I've done years ago. But for those of you who don't know, the Authorities are like the Justice League, except if they are dark and violent. So pretty much, the Authorities are like the Justice League, who takes matter in their own hands and becomes judge, jury, and executioner. And I know that some people always keep fantasizing and even making Photoshop of it, but everybody always keep fantasizing Superman and Batman being gay lovers. Well, look no further, ladies and gentlemen, because the Authority has you covered. Because they have their version of Superman and Batman as gay lovers, except they are known as Apollo and Midnighter. So if any of you are interested in the Authorities, you can get yourself the Authority Odyssey graphic novel. You can get it on Amazon or any other web shopping network. Or if you want to focus more on Apollo and Midnighter, they did a comic book where focusing more on them, which is Midnighter and Apollo Odyssey. Except in that series, they're already married and they're living together. So if any of you want to have a fantasy of a gay Superman and Batman, the Authorities got you covered. And of course, I also heard that even though they let go of Gal Gadot, and I wish they didn't, but I heard that they're going to be planning to make Paradise Lost. And it's supposed to focus on the Amazonians. It's about Paradise Island, the island that Wonder Woman comes from, where it's an all-women island created by the Greek gods. And of course, Wonder Woman being a demigod, since now recently they made Wonder Woman become a demigod, and saying that her mother was assaulted by Zeus himself. So pretty much, this one's going to involve the Amazonians, and there's going to be some problems happening to their island, and that's what it's going to be about. Now, even though they let go of Ben Affleck, and also they have done the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, which I heard that is really, really good, and now I'm hearing about a sequel, they're also going to be doing another Batman movie, which is called Batman Brave and the Bold. No, not the cartoon, the live-action movie! And what's it going to be all about? It's going to be focusing on Batman and his son, Damian Wayne. Well, it's cool that they made Damian Wayne the latest Robin. Although, if it was up to me, if I ever made a Batman movie, I would like to have Dick Grayson in this, but not make him as Robin, but just forward all the way to Dick Grayson becoming Nightwing. And who would I think should be Robin? I was thinking maybe Carrie Kelly, the first female Robin. Because I think Robin should be female, and I always kept thinking about Carrie Kelly. But that's just my opinion. But I'm sure they're going to be doing pretty good with Batman and, of course, his son, Damian Wayne. Which, Damian Wayne, his mother is Talia Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. And he is the member of the Leagues of Shadows. So, it's going to be focusing on Batman and the problem that he's been going through with his son, because his son was raised by the legions of assassin. So he'll think it's better to kill people instead of beating them up and throw them in jail. So Batman will be having problems with his son, and his son going through his violent ways. Oh God. Oh my gosh. Another superhero I heard about that I dread that they're going to be doing. Now this is a DC comic book character I really can't stand. And it is Booster Gold. Now, one thing I know about Booster Gold is this. He's a man from the future. And in his future, he's a zero. He is a loser in the future. So, one thing he did, he stole all the high-tech technology and he traveled through time into the present. And his goal, I mean, unlike other superheroes who goes through trauma or been chosen to do good, what's Booster Gold's goal? What is Booster Gold's goal as a superhero? He wants to be famous. That's it. And this is exactly what I see Booster Gold as. An arrogant, cocky, self-centered, glory hog dumbass who talks too much. And he's also a sellout. He kind of reminds me of that worst superhero I notice, Captain Amazing from Mystery Men. Come to think of it, I think I should review Mystery Man. Note to self, review Mystery Man. But one thing I think they should do, though, I think Booster Gold should take the same path as Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck, I know that Darkwing Duck he wants to become a crime-fighting superhero so he can be famous. But he had one thing that made him different. He took care of a young girl and became a father for her. He adopted her and took the responsibility of being a dad. Now, if they took that story for Booster Gold, at least Booster Gold will have some layers about it. But I'm more faithful to the comics, so I don't think he'll have a daughter. Although I have heard he has a son, and it's Rip Hunter, the Time Master. Yeah, the same Rip Hunter from Legion of Tomorrow. Although one thing I have heard in the comic, one thing I do remember in the comic, Blue Beetle teams up with Booster Gold. So does that mean when they're going to have Blue Beetle movie coming out soon, does that mean that when they're going to do Booster Gold, Blue Beetle's going to show up and try to be his partner, but he's too much of a glory hog to be like, I don't need no sidekick. I'm Booster Gold. I work alone. Possibility. Now here's one thing I've heard that they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow. And for those of you who are not familiar with Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow, this one is going to be based by the latest Supergirl comic they did, which I heard was really, really good. The comic book version of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And one thing I had heard about that comic is that the comic book's going to be about Supergirl not on Earth, but on another planet. And what she's going to do is following her cousin's footsteps in another planet. He meets a young girl who witnessed her father's death by some tyrant, and the girl wants vengeance, but Supergirl starts teaching her that taking matters in your own hand is not a good thing, and starts teaching her how to be more patient and understanding, just like how Superman was with his cousin. So, I do see some potential in that one. I just hope it should be played by Melissa Benoist. I mean, I heard that they're planning to cast another actress to play Supergirl. I don't know. I mean, I still love Melissa Benoist. And, I mean, if Melissa Benoist is tired of playing Supergirl, I'll understand that. But if they never asked her to play, then I'll be pissed. Now, another thing I'm kind of surprised about, they're going to be doing a brand new series of Swamp Thing. And this time it's going to be more scary. And I have done a review talking about Swamp Thing. And I'm still upset that they canceled the Swamp Thing series. But now I'm hearing that James Gunn is going to be making a new Swamp Thing, and this time it's going to be more of a horror version of Swamp Thing. So it's going to be sort of Lovecraftian and kind of dark, maybe a little twisted, and pretty much crap your pants scary. And I also heard that they're gonna there's a now I don't know if this is true or not, but there is a big rumor talking about that they're gonna do a Lobo movie. Now, one thing I know about Lobo, after all, I already finished the script on my Doctor Who. My doctor's going to be meeting Lobo soon. And this is the audio here. Right now, I'm just waiting for the lines of one of my dear friends, and I'll be doing all the others. But one thing I know about Lobo, he is an alien and a bounty hunter. So he's an intergalactic bounty hunter. But unlike Superman and Martian Manhunter, he is the last of his kind, but from his own doing. You see, Lobo destroyed his home planet. He just wiped all of his species to extinction, and he's the only one left. He wants to be the only one. That's why he calls himself the main man. And I also heard that the actor who, I heard that Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo. What? First he plays Aquaman, and now they want him to play Lobo? I mean, on the DC cinematic world, they had Josh Brolin playing Cable, and then Josh Brolin playing Thanos. So, if they're going to have Jason Momoa playing Lobo, I'm sure they're going to be doing some makeup prosthetics or something so he doesn't look similar to his Aquaman features. Ugh. Well, this is my thoughts for today. And if some of you were impressed by my thoughts and my knowing about all these DC superheroes, please leave a comment down below. Hit like and subscribe for more. And I think my next review is going to be Mystery Man, because I've watched that movie so many times, but I never thought about reviewing it. So stay tuned. My next review is going to be Mystery Man. So, I'm the multi-voice reviewer. I remember it so I can jog your memory.